Hey, what's up? This is JS again. New video for you today. Again, going along with a few videos I have. I have the introduction. I have the videos of me on the road. I have another one of those I'm going to be posting pretty soon. And right now, I guess I'm going to start doing some reviews off and on. It's October 2nd, and officially I started my horror movie marathons for the month. Last night I watched House, 1986 horror starring William Catt. He was fairly known in the 80s from that short-lived TV series, America's Greatest Hero. I watched an episode or two of that before in the past. That's the only place I really know him from. And it also stars George Wendt from most well known from Cheers. And so yeah, I'm gonna start watching maybe a horror movie each night as much as I can and review them when they come on. Or not when they come on, when I choose to. I got some in my own DVD and Blu-ray collection, and then again there's the option of using Netflix. Last night I used Netflix to watch House. If you've never seen it before, it's campy right off the bat. It's not that deep of a horror. What it reminds me of is a softer touch to Evil Dead 2, where in Evil Dead 2, Bruce Campbell's film, directed by Sam Raimi, goes into a horror genre and then starts to lighten up the mood in some scenes here and there. But deep down, that movie is a horror, and I may review that over this month as well. But as of right now, House, basically the story is a writer who's been divorced from his wife for some time. He's a writer, and he lost his child recently, gone missing. He just can't find him. And the story is this writer, the main character is Roger Cobb. He inherits his aunt's place, and wasn't too sure why it did that. No other family relatives are really mentioned, but his aunt had committed suicide in the house and left it to him, and so instead of selling it, he decides to take over the house and start writing a new novel about his time in Vietnam. Um, and then that's where it starts to get goofy. It's not like your normal haunting. Most hauntings in a house have a ghost or a particular boogeyman. In this one, it just seems that monsters loom and rule within the house, and it's almost like a interdimensional kind of thing. Things where you go into a closet and all of a sudden it changes into his time in Vietnam, or you jump into a pool and then you surface out into some kind of lake or pond that's nowhere near the house, or you open up the back door and all of a sudden it's overseeing a cliff with an ocean bottom and rocky, just a cliff you're gonna fall over. And so as these weird things start to happen, he's determined to get proof. He gets a camera and he cameras and tries to hunt down this. Where his next door neighbor is a fan. He's again played by George Wendt. His character's name is Harold, and he is just obsessed with hanging out with him. He apparently even has his book, but he has it in pages and wants him to sign it just to have his autograph, which is amusing at times. But at the end of the day, he's just a buddy that wants to have a couple beers with you, bring over pizza, which he does at some point at midnight. I've never had a friend that I just met and all of a sudden they walk in and say, here's a pizza and and beer. Be nice. And I guess that's not how we all live anymore. If we have neighbors, we have to do the whole introduction, bring over cookies, start planning out the days when we're going to hang out, if we're going to hang out, if we're going to be friends. Right off the bat, Harold just is, oh, I'm your best buddy. And he is a skeptic of what Roger thinks about the hauntings. He doesn't believe, but he's willing to give a chance, and so they hang for a while and try and hunt together. In some scenes, that monsters look like a combination between gremlins and trolls from the film Troll. If anyone's aware of that, one of those cult classic horror flicks. It's weird in that sense that these things seem that they can actually be killed. That when they use weapons on these creatures like shotguns and cleavers and other weapons, that's the other thing. It's like the most entertaining I think I found that this movie was the things that came to life, like trophy swordfish on the wall just comes back to life and needs to be put down with a shotgun. Not really how I would catch fish, but it worked in this movie. And then there's the troll-like creature that's somehow morphed in and out of becoming his wife, and that becomes an amusing story as well. As once this thing goes down, it has to be buried, but in pieces. First by a head, then the body, and then for some reason the hand crawls away from the body and starts messing around, crawling here and there, and and just thinking about it amuses me. It's definitely a B movie. It could be considered a C depending on how you look at it. But it's the first movie I chose for the horror season of October with Halloween and everything looming over the next month or so. So plan on enjoying that continuation tonight. I'm going to watch House 2, which is a sequel but has nothing to do with the same characters or even the same house, ironically. I know that there's at least 2 more of those. I think one of them is connected to it, where the third movie comes back to circle around on the first. But until then, I'm just going to start watching one horror movie each night. Sometimes, if I get the chance, I'll watch the continuity of 1 to 2 to 3, if they have it like that. I don't want to go too far into the story about what happens here and there in it, so if I am spoiling things, I do apologize, but if I'm not giving too much details, watch it for yourself. It is on Netflix. It's just part of my marathon, and I think it's worth at least watching once if you've never gotten the chance to. It's definitely set in the 80s, and it's got that tone to it. It amused me. Basically, it was a funny horror movie, and if you're looking for any advice on hauntings and you're sick of Poltergeist, where everything comes to life, this one is basically a monster / Poltergeist movie. It mixes the two, in my opinion. But that's what I'm gonna leave it at for today. Hopefully I'll have a new review. Other things I'll probably be doing next are video games. Been going back to my handheld games on the 3DS, and then just playing classic things on the PlayStation 3. I've been using my downloaded horror games. I've gone back to Resident Evil Code Veronica X. I might be going to 1, 2, 3, the original ones for the PlayStation, and I still have actually the entire collection of Resident Evil games minus the PlayStation 2 first-person shooters. I think they were called Survivor. They never really last. Big fan of that kind of series, anything zombie-related. So hopefully I can get a couple of my zombie movie collections down, things I hope to review this month, like the Dawn of the Dead and the Dawn of the Dead remake. I do have the remake, I don't have the original, but I hope to do things like that. I want to compare the originals to the remakes, the first movie to the sequel movies, or how it becomes a trilogy, and so forth, or even beyond that. Things like the Friday 13th series, that thing goes on for, that has 12 films so far, and I've heard that they are making a 13th, and that one will be in the vein of Paranormal Activity, like with first-person handy cams and stuff like that. Hopefully I can get into the Freddy Krueger Nightmare on Elm Street series and stuff like that. But it's a decent length month. Hopefully I can get 31 movies in if I have the time. 1 movie a night is what I'm planning. So till hopefully tomorrow, and I'll post a little bit on House 2. Again, I'll give some spoilers away, but I'm not going to give away the endings of the movies, just a couple of my favorite scenes and the concept behind it. This is JS saying thanks for reviewing, and leave comments below. Any criticism, both good and bad. I'm just trying to get some vids up. I've been putting way too much time off on this, and I want to put a lot more time into it. Hopefully down the line I'll start getting some editing equipment, and I'd like to show you trailers and videos. I think in the comments I'll even leave a trailer for the movie House, just so you can get more of an aspect on it. Sometimes seeing clips and just hearing music and just seeing how it's supposed to have a real feel. And sometimes trailers do that, sometimes they spoil, but you can click on the link or not. Again, thank you for coming by, and hopefully I'll see you tomorrow.